2018 Renault Grand Scenic Review. The good points of Renault Grand Scenic: unconventional yet elegant design, higher quality interior fittings, on-a-touch rear seat folding, generous equipment levels, hybrid addition to engine range. The bad points of Renault Grand Scenic: rear seating very cramped and never as flexible, complex touchscreen multimedia slow to react, excessive door mirror wind noise, lumpy low-speed ride quality. To date, the 7-seater Renault Grand Scenic continues to be outsold inside the UK by its 5-berth Scenic sibling in a ratio of 3:1. However, while using launch on this 4th-generation iteration of the car that just about invented the compact MPV segment some 2 decades ago, Renault points to the two models may achieve something quite like sales parity now. Entering an industry place Salwachi bustling with all the likes in the Citroën Grand C4 Picasso, the Ford Grand Kamax and also the evergreen Vauxhall Zafira Tourer, the Grand Scenic walks a great line between embracing the sport utility vehicle and crossover styling currently enjoying ubiquitous popularity, and continuing to fulfill the remit of the true multi-purpose vehicle MPV. Design overhaul. Hence the rather elegant and somewhat unconventional exterior design sharing its lesser siblings crossover-like lower roofline and SUV-ish 40mm improvement in ground clearance, perched upon whopping great 20-inch wheels along the entire model range, a hard-to-find instance with the finished article boasting a great deal larger than an archetypal motor show concept vehicle. On board, the business enterprise and on the cabin has additionally been subjected to some proper styling. Gone will be the grinning emoticon panels that after identified Renault instrument panels the company over, replaced with a new dashboard console, emergency of somewhat somber but well-made and soft-touch materials. The console houses a 7 or 8.7-inch touchscreen, the second for management of Renault's Relink 2 infotainment system. Flexibility levels compromised. Though the cabin occupies a totally MPV-like 80% in the body shell, itself 23 cm more than that from the standard Scenic, together with the extra space split relating to the load space along with the wheelbase, the spine seating isn't as flexible as that perfectly found on the outgoing model. Granted, a corner 2 seating tiers will flop flat with all the current alacrity of the house of cards inside a hailstorm, however they are no longer removable using the aid of an hernia truss, plus the sliding middle row seats are split just 60 hours 40 minutes as an alternative to into 3. A pity, to be able to slide the center seat beyond line was the simplest way of easing shoulder rub with 3 prop forwards abreast. A deal of juggling with middle row positioning can also be necessary to offer anything approaching adequate knee room within second and third tiers simultaneously. Any mix of both tiers of rear seats could be lowered on the touch of an load space wall-mounted button, or via one with the multimedia system's endless menus, to present a flat floor. Typical of any 7-seat format, load space with all of seats in play feels a tad residual, at merely 233 liters. Petrol, diesel and hybrid power choices. The Grand Scenic is going to be available with a selection of 6 engines, 2 turbocharged petrol units, 3 diesel turbodiesels and, built throughout the least powerful diesel, a hybrid assist power plant. This latter is interesting not just for offering an 810% cut in fuel consumption and CO2 emissions over the normal diesel, but in addition because it's rare to get a hybrid powertrain for being mated with a manual transmission. These engine choices SP watch across a 4-model lineup of Expression Plus, Dynamic Nav, Dynamic S-Nav and Signature Nav. Standard specification levels seem generous, and all of versions are packed to your rafters with plenty safety technology to reap a 5-star Euro NCAP rating. Comfortable but tend to be better. With accurate steering that's as numb to be a dental patient's mouth plus more than a whiff of body roll, the Grand Scenic isn't a car you'll particularly enjoy hustling over the corners. We're satisfied with that, though, believing such family-oriented machines should major in ride quality. Sadly, the Grand Scenic somewhat lets the inside down. This is because, despite those massive wheels, ride quality is ostensibly quite comfortable. But it struggles to stay supple at low speeds, crashing over obstacles on the kind that blight British roads. Happily it will settle down as speeds rise, making the Grand Scenic happiest ambling in the cruise, the quietness which is shattered by the deal of wind noise from your door mirrors as speeds rise. So, the Grand Scenic can be a handsome effort which, even though it makes many welcome concessions to your SUV and crossover genres inside the realms of design, cabin quality and equipment specification, still seems to tick enough MPV flexibility and practicality boxes to merit consideration. In all, a large improvement over its predecessor. More details on this all-new people carrier. Watch on for comprehensive Renault Grand Scenic review. Trio of diesels anticipated to sell well. Petrol engines feel gutless for car in this size. Unusual hybrid incorporates a manual gearbox. At launch, a selection of 6 engines emerges, by using a 6-speed manual gearbox as standard, using a twin-clutch automatic positioned on the least and most powerful diesels. Duo of petrol choices. It's 115 1.0-liter, 115 horsepower, 190 Nm turbo petrol, 6-speed manual. 062 miles per hour in 13.0 seconds, max speed 114 miles per hour, 46.3 miles per gallon, 136 gkm CO2. It's 131.2-liter, 130 horsepower, 205 Nm turbo petrol, 6-speed manual. 062 miles per hour in 11.9 seconds, max speed 117 miles per hour, 46.3 miles per gallon, 136 gkm CO2. The turbocharged petrol engines are generally reasonably refined but do need spending so much time to heft this 7-seater around. They are wanting to rev, but all the same, performance figures take time and effort to match within the real world. 3 diesels expected being more popular. DC 110 1.5-liter, 110 horsepower, 260 Nm turbo diesel, 6-speed manual or dual-clutch auto. 062 miles per hour in 12.4 seconds, max speed 114 miles per hour, 70.6 miles per gallon, 104 gkm CO2. DC 131.6-liter, 130 horsepower, 320 Nm turbo diesel, 6-speed manual. 062 miles per hour in 11.4 seconds, max speed 118 miles per hour, 61.4 miles per gallon, 119 gkm CO2. DC 161.6-liter, 160 horsepower, 380 Nm turbo diesel, dual-clutch auto. 062 miles per hour in 10.7 seconds, max speed 124 miles per hour, 60.1 miles per gallon, 122 gkm CO2. Mated to some smooth twin-clutch automatic transmission, the 160 horsepower turbo diesel feels a greater fit for 3 reasons. Firstly, it includes better low-down torque for greater urgency off of the line and during overtaking. Secondly, the Grand Scenic's family-oriented design lends itself ideally for an automatic gearbox, and, thirdly, The diesel has to try overtime to maintain a high-speed cruise, which is therefore often inaudible beneath that door mirror wind noise. Unusual diesel-electric hybrid. DC 110 Hybrid Assist 1.5-liter, 110 horsepower, 260 Nm Hybrid Assist turbodiesel with 10 kW electric motor, 6-speed manual. 062 miles per hour na, max speed na, 80.7 miles per gallon, 92 gkm CO2. Hybrid Assist is undoubtedly an affordable opportunity for Renault to go in the part electrically powered arena. Rather than building the electric motor into the gearbox, you will need to place in the alternator alongside the engine, and takes power from an 11 kg lithium-ion power supply under the boot floor. Tax significant 810% decrease in fuel consumption and CO2 emissions aside, Renault quotes identical performance figures just for this unit and also the standard 110 horsepower turbodiesel, suggesting the other 44 kg weight of hybrid componentry balances out any performance advantage. A brief drive does however suggest it adds sprightliness from the urban environment, thanks in an electric motor's power to generate maximum torque from 0 revs. Difficult to put the car at low speeds. Works best when cruising in the relaxed manner. Not as fun to operate a vehicle as its Ford rival. When parking or during other low-speed maneuvers, the shape from the windscreen pillars causes it to be difficult to locate top corners on the car, causing us to wince in anxiety about curbing some of those large alloy wheels. It also pushes the windscreen to date forwards. The dash top appears like acres of wasted space. Perhaps it ought to be fully glazed and serve like a tropical aquarium. On the open road, Renault's dual-clutch EDC automatic gearbox is usually a far better fit on the Grand Scenic's driving characteristics than the usual manual transmission. Mated for the DC 160 diesel, it includes smooth, torque-laden progress with lots of overtaking go. The light steering, meanwhile, is precise and accurate enough without offering over much communication. Despite wider back and front tracks than those on the previous model, there's still a significant deal of body roll through corners. In order to keep the rubber cladding those handsome 20-inch alloys affordable rather than too detrimental to fuel consumption, the tires are narrower than their diameter indicate, with inevitable implications for grip levels. Easy drive an automobile at loafing speeds, then, but try not to try and get caught up with Ford's Grand Max when things get twisty. Large display replaces traditional instruments. Multimedia package somewhat slow to work. No Apple CarPlay or Android Auto initially. The swanky new dashboard houses a brand new console which has a 7-inch or, for swankier models, a biggest in Class 8.7-inch touchscreen to master Renault's Relink 2 multimedia system. Though it shoulders aside the central air vents in somewhat cavalier fashion, we much like the portrait orientation on the screen. This allows you to see further in the road ahead into the spotlight, and fewer of areas you're not about they are driving through. The vast useful menus available can be slightly baffling to navigate and occasionally slow responding, however the screen looks good and successful enough once learned. What isn't yet available, and won't be until a couple of months after the November launch, is either Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Renault will introduce a scalping system simultaneously across its range, and says it had no goal of delaying the Grand Scenic's arrival within the interests of offering the features on the initial wave of buyers. Nor will a retrofit get offers to those that bought one in the early build versions. This, inside the context of each and every rival manufacturer harping on for many years now concerning the importance of such connectivity in every single new offering, is baffling, whether or not the number of app-fixated youngsters who actually hears a 7-seater MPV is small. All analog dials listed below are electronically created, and also, since Renault design boss Laurens van den Acker considers them ineffective, there's no central speedometer either. Instead, there's a faux analog TFT panel inside the space usually occupied by a turbinicle, which is useful enough. Flagship signature nav versions also have a segment first color head-up display. The white content ones all but disappears should you sport polarizing sunglasses. Front seats are definitely the most comfortable. Middle row is a lot more cramped than rivals. Rearmost chairs for the children only. While the Renault Grand Scenic is blessed with comfortable front seats, the essentially fine driving position won't suit those that like to sit low behind the helm, due on the need to enhance the seat of up to possible in order to set the car effectively for low-speed maneuvers. There doesn't appear to become as much space inside the second row as being the Grand Scenic's predecessor either. You no more get 3 individual seats, they now fold 60 hours 40 minutes, and shoulder room suffers to be a result. Slid completely back, the center row seats offer merely adequate legroom which falls slightly below the course leaders. They also feel somewhat upright and compact for a long all-adult occupancy, especially in case you bring your third row into play, which can be, frankly, unoccupable by anyone but supple contortionists until you steal knee room back through the second tier. All models are generously kitted out. Dynamic S-Nav would be the pick in the range. Carefully think about the option bundles. From its autumn 2016 launch, the Grand Scenic arrived 4 trim levels within a hierarchy alwachi familiar through the entire Renault range: Expression Plus, Dynamic Nav, Dynamic S-Nav and Signature Nav. Standard Renault Grand Scenic equipment. Entry denote Grand Scenic ownership is Expression Plus, full of an impressive range of standard kit, including automatic lights and wipers, the first sort with an auto main beam function, DAB radio with Bluetooth connectivity operated by using a 7-inch touchscreen, dual-zone climate control, cruise control and hill start assist. Using that as being a baseline, Dynamic Nav adds front and back parking sensors, the multi-sense system providing selective driving modes and ambient lighting, an uprated speaker package and Relink multimedia system, a sliding central console that has a pair of USB ports, front seat back tables and on a touch folding rear seats. Choose the Dynamic S-Nav for any wealth of extra kit including a reversing camera, rear privacy glass, a panoramic roof with electric blind, a color head-up display and Renault's portrait-oriented 8.7-inch touchscreen because of its Relink 2 multimedia system and 11 Bose speakers. Flagship from the range is Signature Nav. This may be the grade to choose if you crave full LED headlamps, front fog lights, electrically adjustable front seats and black leather upholstery. Optional Renault Grand Scenic accessories. Extras to the Grand Scenic vary based on the specification you end up picking, but fittings such like a reversing camera, full LED headlamps, metallic paint along with the 8.7-inch multimedia system are typically available. A wide range of choices are also bundled together to offer better value and improve option take-up. Bose Pack adds, unsurprisingly, a Bose head unit with 7 speakers, an amplifier plus a subwoofer to Dynamic S-Nav and Signature Nav versions. Leather Premium Pack embellishes the Dynamic S-Nav with full leather upholstery, electrically adjustable and heated front seats with memory along with a front passenger seat with ISOFIX child seat mounts and underseat storage. Look Pack Premium, only positioned on the Dynamic Nav. This bundle comprises of the panoramic sunroof with electric blind, electrochromatic rear view mirror and dark-tinted rear glazing. Parking Premium Pack, solely for that Dynamic S-Nav and Signature Nav versions. It contains self-parking function, 360-degree parking sensors and blind spot warning. Safety pack, situated on dynamic nav and above, its content has lane keep assist and safe distance warning. Safety pack premium also for dynamic nav and above, this adds adaptive cruise control on the above safety pack. Full 5-star Euro NCAP rating. Wide variety of safety tech available. Any of the safest 7-seaters discounted. As evidenced by its 5-star Euro NCAP crash test rating, the Renault Scénic wants for little inside domains of safety and driver assistance, with the acronym VIN Check list of features best explored within the glossary. Under the Advanced Driver Assistance Systems ADAS umbrella, the sun and rain include Adaptive Cruise Control ACC, the Active Emergency Braking System EBS. This tends to activate of speeds between 5 miles per hour and 37 miles per hour, lane departure warning LDW, making itself known that has a vibration over the steering wheel as an alternative to an audible warning, safe distance warning SDW, traffic sign recognition with overspeed prevention TSR with OSP, blind spot warning BSW, a reversing camera, automatic main beam for the headlights, front, rear and side parking sensors. Adding to this impressive tally of systems, the Grand Scenic also sees the Renault debut of Active Emergency Braking System EBS incorporating pedestrian detection, between speeds of 5 miles per hour and 37 miles per hour. The package alerts the driver to your risk of a collision which has a pedestrian, automatically bringing the car to some full stop should warnings are not able to trigger a response on the driver. Lane keeping assist, active between 44 miles per hour and 100 miles per hour. Your vehicle will automatically steer itself back involving the white lines if the trucker veers from them without indicating. Fatigue alert. Tiredness kills. This also BOS-developed system uses algorithms to watch the vehicle's movements to recognize if the motive force appears for being falling asleep. Once triggered, visual and audible alerts are presented towards the driver. No longer individual seats from the middle row. Storage space abounds across the cabin. Modest boot in 7-seater mode. As a spacious 7-seater, it's difficult for your Renault Grand Scénic to become anything apart from practical, but a majority of features on the first 2 generations are already consigned on the bin. Both second and third row seats might be lowered with the touch of an load space wall-mounted button. Third row headrests simultaneously diving for cover, or via one with the multimedia system's endless menus, to present a flat floor. Predictably, load space effortlessly. 7 seats being used is modest at 233 liters. Excellent storage abounds throughout, like both the floor bins from Scenics of yore, along with the sliding center console, which may either mate while using base on the dashboard console, or slide aft to separate your live's squabbling offspring. A capacious glove box pops out at you much like the Arkwright's corner shop till, plus the seatback tables are held by elastic that may inevitably be enthusiastically twanged by kids sat immediately behind.